I just see on the YouTube chat some people being so negative. Like I don't understand how you can listen to me for so long and still be full of so much anger towards me. Like there's other teachers that you're not victim to anything. There's other teachers that you could go to that are more following topics and have a noteboard and are like, I see me as more of an energetic communicator. So even if I go off singing, it's like an energy. Like if you spend time with me, I think that the biggest thing that you'll come away with is that I'm really, most of the time, unless I get an anger attack, which isn't that often, but most of the time I'm very joyful and light and playful, and I see that as way more important than some intellectual teaching of non-duality or some serious teaching with PowerPoint of non-duality. But you have thousands of teachers that you could go to that offer you that, and you come here and you're in like a dark negative mindset, like putting out hate. Like why? Well, I understand why, actually. I say why naively. Why is because it's a release for you. It makes you feel better to put anger out there, because there's anger and annoyance and frustration in your body. So when you release it out and have it heard by other people, it's actually relaxing. That's why people get angry and shout at their partners and let out frustration on the ones they love, because it releases it from the body. Like you're not victim to anybody. You're not victim to me because of the way I speak or because I do different things from just talking about non-duality. I show you my beautiful, wonderful, mysterious dog that looks like a wolf. Nobody's ever victim to anything. What a wonderful society it would be if people could see that you aren't victim. Because what it does is it makes the body-mind instrument take responsibility. Even though it's nobody's responsibility, the instrument begins to see that by sticking its hand continuously in the fire, it gets burnt. So by releasing anger on people, it never works. You just build up more anger. You just give yourself an endorphin release. And therefore it trains you to keep on doing that, just like the addiction to Facebook and the tics and the dislikes. It's like a endorphin release when you release your anger on somebody, but it doesn't actually solve the underlying problem. It just makes you build on that, so you become more and more angry over years. Until you're in your 60s and you become, like that film Grumpy Old Men, which I do find very funny, that film. And I don't understand how you can keep listening to my talk and you can't hear that part, like what I'm saying. But it's nobody's responsibility. So when I say you have to take responsibility for your action, it's like a two-way part, because on one level you've got to really see that there's nobody's responsibility, and then on the other level the instrument needs to take responsibility for itself. So if the instrument is like, if the body, the person, to put it more personally, is laying in bed all day with depression, then there needs to be some form of reflection that it needs to put effort, it needs to get out of bed, it needs to do things. And obviously it's God's will whether it gets those impulses to think that. But the type of thinking that's going to begin to get that person out of bed with depression is thoughts like, I can do it, or it will be better for me if I get out of bed, or I'm the one that has to get myself out of bed. It's not going to suddenly be, God is deciding to get me out of bed. Here moves the arm. Oh, here moves the other arm. Boop, 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 boop. God is moving me out of bed. It's going to come with thoughts that are like, okay, I have to recondition myself to get myself moving again and get myself out, or take some pills or whatever it is that I've decided to do, but I have to do something. So it appears with personal responsibility, but there's this energetic shift that deeply knows that everything is a dance of God. But if you want to change the character apparently has to take responsibility in time. Just like if you want to learn French or learn Japanese or learn how to cook, Indian food. You have to train yourself to do it. Yeah, da 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 da. Yeah. So the person that's hating me or disliking me on the YouTube chat, that is your karma. That is your karma. It's you that you're hurting, and it's also my karma. Like the when I open myself up to speak about this, the karma of that, like the wise understanding, is that you are going to receive negative feedback and you're going to receive positive feedback, I would say a balanced person will then look at it constructively and look at which feedbacks help you grow. Somebody that's narrow-minded will just take the positive one and just be like, yes, I am the enlightened guru, blah, 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 blah. For somebody, when you're more balanced, you'll see that negative feedback is always vital to keep things balanced. Vital. It's so important to have like extremities of things. And I have taken, like the person that's complaining, saying how disorganized I am, and I have taken it into account, and I am trying a bit better to do things a little bit more orderly. But I also think that I've got to let my character play and be disorganized. Well, what's attractive about it is that Horton Hears a Who is that kind of personality. But I am trying to, I've like designed a nice little coming soon intro little section, and I've set up the microphone really well, and I'm trying to edit out things if there's a mistake. And then there's also another person on YouTube that's editing short clips. So if you just want to see short clips, you can go to that. I think it's called Video Clips. You can find that. It's an associate channel. So there is an effort. Like I've heard that feedback and I understand that feedback, but I also think there's something really sweet in my personality, and it's like a deep knowing that's not arrogant and not from like being mean. It's just like a deep knowing, you know, when you just feel this trust in yourself that my playfulness and my joyfulness and my distractedness all come together, and there's a sweetness in it. Like it doesn't mean any harm to anyone. It's, if you follow it, you'll see that there's a real like energy of excitement that's trying to be communicated. And that this isn't all about mental masturbation. This subject isn't mental masturbation. But, so I do see feedback as karma. When you put yourself out there, you always need to have feedback, and you're going to have extremes, and you want to come to a more balanced middle ground. You're going to always have extremes. That's the way it goes. That's part of the great democratic society, is that we can all have opinions. So when you put yourself out there, that is karma. You can have that. And I reflect on it as well. Like if I start getting lots of hate on YouTube, I reflect on it. You know, why is that coming up? Like that is, everything is your karma. You could boo 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 boo, and that goes for you, and that goes for me, and it goes for you. So if you're hating my talks, why are you creating it? Because you are the creator on the absolute level. You as consciousness, the one that's listening to my voice, the one that's seeing now, the one that's right here is the creator. So why is it being created? And it's created through this personality structures. And these personality structures have particular colors to them. And then it creates, the brain projects this outside world as well. But it's all coming from that number one creator. But the source is not consciously creating. But on the human level can change it, but it's not separate from the source. So you could say it's the source changing it, but it changes it through the human level. But you are the creator. So if I'm so terrible to you, if I'm having such a bad effect on you, just answer this, please. Why are you creating me? Get out of that by how to get out of that with being a victim, with maintaining a victim. Humans love to be victim. You are not a victim, no matter what's happened. That is just such a bad attitude, victimhood. Such a bad attitude. It's an attitude of deep suffering that life is against you. You are life. You are life. You can't come to a non-duality channel, someone that openly preaches oneness, and then think that things are happening to you that other people are doing to you. Oh, I can see it now. It's not negative. That's just your mental interpretation. Yes. No, I do understand your perspective. You think that you are there to save me because you are so high and I can be saved by you. You've already spoken to me before about it. And I know your attitude. You believe that you know better than me. That you are an older gentleman that knows better than me because I am a foolish business person. What if I'm not? And I'm not saying it from arrogance. I'm just saying it from like love, like this middle part. Like I've thought about it. From each extreme, I've had that have told me that I need to be a better business person, and then those that say that I shouldn't be a business person at all in this subject. And I've come to the middle. Like I do business, I do it inside of the structure of business, but it's not my goal. Being a great business person isn't my goal. What my goal is expressing my freaking heart. And that means suddenly having a Khaleesi love affair in the middle of it, being like, because my goal is to express my heart. And that will always be my goal. Always. Even if the whole business implodes, that is what's most important to me. But I do it in the structure. I abide by the country's laws, and I do things in structure of business, and I do certain things to make this digestible and listenable. I do nice microphone, I do nice intro, I have set times every week, but then I just let it wild. I'm not speaking here like with an agenda, I'm just speaking, and it's like love. It's like just love, it's unbounded. Like I'm not speaking with this agenda in the future. I'm going to hook all these potential students. Let me, namaste, let me hook all these potential students. Let me do all the advertising things of wearing the right color clothes, of not drinking drinks, of making sure you have a plant. I did the plant, you see? I'm a compromiser, I did the plant. I haven't done the picture of somebody. I'm not wearing gold and Armani suits to try and sell something. It's not my goal. Or spiritual clothes. I'm not wearing white and long shawls. My goal is so evident that it's to express love and joy. And if that annoys you, or if you think that I shouldn't do that, it's not balanced. To me, I think everybody should be going from that premise of expressing their heart, and they've got to find that middle way between making enough money to survive and putting it in a sellable way, but at the same time using that platform to do something they love and that they're deeply passionate about. And I can only be passionate about stuff here, right here in this. Like expressing for no reason out of this without any bounds on it. Like I'm not trying to get anywhere, like there's not a goal or there's not something I'm trying to avoid. It's just coming out as a form of love without any bounds on it right here. And that's how everybody should act, just from this moment, here, right now, in the apparent color of the individual. So, the person I'm speaking with on YouTube, I would suggest that you're showing and displaying narcissistic qualities. I'm feeding back with love, and I didn't want to use that word, but the idea that you know way better than me when you've never been a spiritual teacher and you haven't done this for 8 years and you're not a young female that's had all the experiences, like, and the letters that you've written to me is like, in the way that you've written to me, it's for sure that you're displaying narcissistic qualities. And the aggression in which you've written, I feel like what you want is you want me to be a female that follows you. Like there's some sort of sexuality most probably in there for you, and you want me to be a female that follows you and says, yes, sir, you are right. You know how to do business and I do not, and you are going to make me successful at business and I will be grateful for you. It's like a sexual game. And I've experienced it many times in my business, and I've looked into it. I have a selection of older gentlemen that have come playing that game. And my karma isn't saying yes to you. My karma is trying to work out how to dance that respectfully, like without being mean or horrible to anyone, and doing it with love and not getting trapped in some sort of weird sexual games with people. I have the opposite from the young woman coming and offering the body to the guru. It's like a squashing energy. It can be from women that do it too. It's like you want, when you like something, you want to squash it and own it. Like, let me tell you how to do this better. I know this energy very well. I'm not interested. I love you and I'm not interested. Not romantically, but I love you from this moment. And that's my karma, is learning to stand up to that energy in a really peaceful and harmonious way and saying a big no. When I first started, I was like 30 years old, and I took it too seriously, this criticism from these older men. It wasn't from women, it just doesn't happen. That I think it always has this sexual element to it. So I think with male teachers, they get females offering their body in some way, or offering to help in some way in order to get the love of the parent, in order to get that intimacy. Whereas what I've experienced as a young female starting speaking on this is like a squashing, is that these people come and they try and squash my spirit and own my spirit. It's like they want to suck it up. Like, that's my experience. And one way is through that door is trying to tell me how badly I'm doing business, how badly I'm doing things, and that only their help can help me. Maybe it's not like that. Maybe the greatest thing you can ever act from is not the logic, but the love that's in your heart, the love that's the heart of being. And that's wild and uncontainable and doesn't have filters or rules or logic. It just is. And it's like okay, let's go to question.